What's up, everybody? I'm Rob.
I'm Reshawn,
And this is Learn, Hustle, Grow.
If you are interested in all things money, marriage, and travel, this is the place for you. Rob and I have been happily married for 10 years. Yes, I did say happily. Of course, that doesn't mean we're happy every minute of every day, but we love each other and we're in it for the long haul. Now, that means we actually get a lot of inquiries about the topic of marriage itself. How do we work together as a team? How do we stay married? How do we keep the fires burning?
Managing money.
Of course, we get that one.
All that.
So in this video, we are going to talk about our marriage top 5. You'll find that everything can't be important every day. So it's really helpful for us to narrow it down a bit and to pick some areas to focus on.
Before we go over our marriage top 5, we're going to go over our list that we had before we met each other, because I'm sure there's plenty of people out there with a list of things that their future spouse needs to have or whatever. So we'll see how that turned out. All right, then, ladies first.
So you're saying you want me to go over my list?
Yes.
Okay, how about we start with one item at a time?
Okay.
We can take turns.
Okay.
All right. All right, guys. So I'm not going to front.
Please spare us, because we know that everyone has unreasonable lists sometimes, okay? And this is before. We're married now, so this is before, all right? Don't beat us too bad.
Okay. So here we go. So the first item on my list was certainly that the young man be physically attractive.
I can see that.
I would say, I say this because none of us can see the heart or the spirit of a person when we pass them in the mall. It takes time to get to know those other things. So first and foremost, physical attractive was important to me. And at that time, I would say tall, dark, and bald would have been my idea. So you can see how that turned out.
Yeah.
How about you, babe?
That was a lot of explanation for that. Yes, she had to be fine to me too. And I have no explanation. It's like physical attraction that matters. Physically attractive to me.
Clearly fine is me.
To me. So, that's my number one. Physically attractive also, which I think most of us, that's how it starts, right?
Okay.
So, number 2. What's your number 2?
My number 2 was that he be a believer in Christ.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we worked on that one, so.
Well, when we met, you believed.
Yeah.
You just were not.
Just wasn't actively in church and stuff like that. Yeah. So now I'm an old married guy and I'm in church all the time. So
there you go.
It's all good. My number 2 was she was making her own money. I know the brothers feeling me out there. You know, don't come to me super broke. I mean, I'm struggling myself. I can't take care of broke people too. Have your job.
My God.
That's what I wanted her to have.
I was not expecting that.
Have her own job.
Tell by the look on my face.
Hey, ain't you heard that song back in the day, Scrubs? I didn't want a female scrub, so I had my own job. I was working my way up in the world, and you know.
You are begging for some comments on this video.
Well, it is what it is, so.
Anyway, number 3. Okay, ladies, just one more thing on the physical note. Some of us may have had height on the list, 6 feet or taller. If you Google it, you will find that only 14.9% of the total American population of males is over 6 feet tall or 6 feet or taller. Check it out.
Seems like many more, but.
Something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway. Back to number 3. My number 3 would be that he needed to have a child. I was already a single mom, by the time I was 23 years old. So at a certain point, I decided that I did not want any more children, and it would be helpful if the gentleman came with at least one child of his own. That was certainly the case by the time I met Mr. Lee.
Yeah, but how did that conversation go when you meet a single guy and he doesn't have any children?
That conversation generally went like this. Nice to have met you.
That's
Best
funny.
of luck in your search.
That's rare. That's a rare situation. So.
Yeah, no, it actually wasn't as rare as you might think it would be. I seem to meet guys who didn't have kids all the time. And when I did attempt to date someone who didn't have kids, it just didn't work out.
Understandable. My number 3, did not smoke. I didn't want a lady that smoked because I'm not a smoker and it's just not my thing. And I knew that would be a problem. So no smoking, especially, especially cigarettes, but I didn't want to meet any weed heads either. I met a couple weed heads that all they want to do was smoke weed. I'm just not down with that. So good job for not being a weed head, baby.
Oh, no. Again, ladies, no idea that was coming up. So, on to, I would say that non-smoking was a given for me, but it wasn't an item on my list. But it's something we certainly shared in common. Okay, so where are we at? My number 4?
Your number 4.
And maybe this could have been higher on the list. Intelligence. It was really important to me that the gentleman and I be able to hold a great conversation and be able to communicate on an even level.
Okay. I don't know if we're even, but okay, it's all good. Sometimes I can't read what she's writing, so it's all. I appreciate a smart woman, though, right? So my number 4. My number 4. Must be ambitious. I wanted someone who wanted something out of life so we could grow and we could build and, leave a good legacy.
Okay. I also wanted someone who was goal oriented, so we were certainly on page in that regard. So I'm going to go ahead and just say that was certainly on my list, but I won't elaborate there. The next thing would have been, for me, a good sense of humor. I can be a bit serious, and it's helpful for me to have someone to balance that out, someone who can make me laugh and help me to be more spontaneous. So good sense of humor kind of covers all of that, and I got a winner. He keeps me laughing.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, she's laughing. So,
Next.
number 5, right?
I think so.
Is that me or you?
You. Your
Okay.
turn.
My number 5. My number 5 was a woman that worked out, that I could see some attempt to keep herself up instead of just, down in those Twinkies.
Oh my God. I don't know if we should publish this video. Anyway, I worked out a lot more before we met than I do now. But I am cognizant of my appearance.
Yeah. Good job.
That's all I'm going to say on
Good
that
job.
matter.
Good job, baby.
Okay, so this would be the final item on my list. And I simply wanted that person to be financially capable of taking care of themselves.
Okay.
It was not important to me that he have more money than me or even be able to take care of me financially because I was self-sufficient. I was simply looking for someone who could come along as a partner that I would not need to financially support.
Didn't I say that earlier? That was on mine too.
You said have your own money.
Okay. Yeah, that was pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, you put 2 people together making money or making their own money, then you can go big places as long as we can get on page, right? That's the thing. A lot of people can't get on page, so. But like to travel. No, this is not my last one.
Oh.
I have one more after this, but I like to travel, and I was hoping that I would find someone that would like to travel. And, it seems to be, to me, that I notice a lot more females love to travel than guys. A lot of the guys, I have friends, and they just don't like to really go like to leave the country and stuff. So that worked out for me. So, and the last one, I'm probably gonna get beat for this one, but it was a strict rule at first. The last one is have only one child was my final list criteria because I had one son and I felt like I didn't want to date anyone that had more than one child. I thought it was fair. At first I wanted to meet someone with no children when, before he was around. And then after he was born, then I was like, wait a minute, it's only fair to say, hey, one child, and that way we can have one and one. And, it was just in my head for whatever reason. And that's my last one.
So all of that to say, for us, it was important that we have a lot of things in common. That's what it boiled down to. Mm-hmm. If you listen to our list, quite a few things overlapped. While there were some differences, those differences were not extreme at all. And those were just kind of basic foundational things that you look for early on in a relationship to determine whether or not it should go to the next step. But those were the things that were important enough to us to decide to move forward in a relationship.
Right. And of course, those things can and will change, obviously, because I'm not bald or dark and not that much over 6 feet and all that. So 5'11", 6 feet in shoes.
As women, we can generally be more specific. We can tend to be more specific than guys are.
That's right.
But and that's okay. It's up to each of us to modify our list as to decide what is important. Once Rob and I got married, it became evident that there are any number of things that you can argue about on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. So we decided to create a list of the things that we thought would be most important to focus on. And without further ado, we will begin with our marriage top 5. Over to you, Mr. Lee.
Number 1, respectful, honest, and loving communication. None of us are mind readers. We all have different backgrounds and experiences. Expectations need to be verbalized, and so do apologies. Everyone knows it's not always what we say, it's how we say it. Admitting when we're wrong is a sign of maturity. I'm sorry goes a long way.
Number 2, physical and emotional intimacy. Both are equally important. When you're married, it means that only your spouse can meet these needs. We agree not to seek emotional support from parties of the opposite sex. That means we both must be open to discussing our physical and emotional needs. We discuss likes and dislikes when it comes to sex. We also discuss frequency. If necessary, put sex on the calendar. We don't have small children, so that's usually not a problem. But we find that couples who have kids tend to get tired and busy, but you don't want to neglect your love life. Put it on the calendar. That way, both of you can be mentally and physically ready when the time comes.
Number 3, a shared financial plan. 2 have become 1. That means we have taken on each other's debt. If you know our story, you know that we join our finances and work together to become debt-free. As you discuss your finances, ask the following. Should both parties work outside the home? Is our current income enough? When will we retire? What will it take to retire? Does our life insurance cover the big things like home, college, cars? You should probably review quarterly.
Number 4. We both agree to strive to be our best selves. There are actually 2 categories under number 4, the first of which is health. Till death do us part may come sooner than we planned if we don't take care of ourselves. We agree to see our doctors annually. We actually see our dentist twice a year. In addition to exercise and eating right, we have both found it extremely important to make time for ourselves. Yes, part of our health and being our best selves is spending time apart.
Preach.
For Rob and I, it's key that we have our own space and we are mentally and emotionally happier when we do that.
So the second part of us striving to be our best selves, goals and dreams. We discussed our vision for the future. When we met, we both had 10 plus years of work experience. It's important to know where your spouse plans to be in 5 years so you can support them. Are you open to relocating? Is it okay to accept a lower paying job to relieve stress, learn new skills, or follow a passion?
And finally, number 5, Shared household responsibilities.
Oh, Lord.
Chores can be a real sore spot in some households. It was certainly something we needed to address early on. Does your spouse have traditional views regarding who's responsible for cleaning the house? If you're both on page with that, that's great. For us, we decided to create a chore list. This way we felt there was more of a distribution of the responsibilities in that area. Ask yourselves the following questions. Are there chores that one or both of us absolutely hates? Are we in agreement regarding who does what? Should we have a home warranty regarding household repairs? These kinds of questions will help you get your discussion going and kind of help to get you all on the same page.
We've shared our individual dating criteria before marriage and our top 5 after marriage. As always, we hope you found this video helpful. If so, please like and subscribe.
That's all we have for now.
Until next time,
This is Learn, Hustle, Grow.